holiday by the U.S. government because they designated the Monday closest to October 12th as the day when they would observe it. It used to be a paid, I think still is a federal holiday. Federal meaning the whole place.
The bank was closed yesterday.
Yeah, the banks were closed yesterday, right? That's about the only thing now anymore. But what it was, and I have another website, I'm going to share this slideshow with you in a moment. This is an interesting newer website that I just discovered, and it has all kinds of holidays on it. In fact, that's the purpose of this. Tio Tomate, are you with me? Tristan? There we are. Yes. So the purpose of this website is to talk about all days on the calendar. So it's a very neutral source, okay? It tells you about Indigenous Peoples Day. Oh, I was talking about Columbus Day though. They've got just about every holiday on here. So it's pretty cool. So here's Columbus Day. That was instituted in 1937, and partly because Italian Americans were suffering lots of discrimination as being recent immigrants to the U.S., and we all know the recent immigrants are the ones who suffer the most discrimination. And so they were looking for a positive aspect of their heritage, and they settled on Columbus since he was Italian. He was viewed as a hero, right? And so they were able to get that instituted by the government, and they were able to change the narrative towards Italian Americans who are no longer viewed like that. And so that is the origin of Columbus Day in the U.S. and why there's so many things named after Columbus in this country. But this is an interesting account. It tells some contributions from Indigenous Americans: popcorn, hockey, sequoia tree.
Hockey.
Huh?
I said, hockey.
Yeah, and I don't even know these names of American Indian tribes. What names of Indian tribes can you name?
Aztec.
Aztec? Doesn't have to be Hispanic ones from this class. Any.
It starts with an N, then Cherokee.
Cherokee. Incas.
Anunnaki or
Probably. There's,
Mohawks.
yes. The Mohawks. There's a ton of them. Keep going. How many more can you think of? Lots of places that we go to in Europe. Huron. And the other lake up there. Erie.
Superior. No, that's not.
I don't think so. Think about history class. What tribes did you learn about in history class?
that was back in 5th grade.
Was it?
That was a while ago.
Wasn't there like
U.S. history.
It was like the Chichen Itza or something like that.
Yeah.
Chichen Itza.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I was there.
You weren't in 5th grade? You were in 5th grade
I
somewhere.
was in 5th grade for the last half of 5th grade.
Well, you were somewhere else for the first half.
Yeah.
All right, and here's a timeline. So anyway, this is kind of an interesting website for you to explore. Ahora clase, saquen el iPad, prendan el iPad, abran la clase de español.
I have fallen asleep standing up. That's not a joke.
Oh my God.
Isn't there like a name for that?
Yeah, narcolepsy.
Yeah.
I know someone who does it when they drive, so she can't drive very far. I know, it's bad, it's really bad. What about it? Oh, you can sit with somebody, I'm sorry. Thank
He
you.
was dating that
All right, guys, la clase de español, abran la presentación, open up the slideshow and go, oh, I didn't show you the gory picture, or did I? Okay, this is on slide number 3. So this is a daguerreotype or a grave, what do you call it, carving from Bartolomé de las Casas. So when they first arrived, they're in Hispaniola, which is now Dominican Republic and Haiti, and then also Puerto Rico. They forced the people to be servants and to bring them gold, and they had a quota. Every month they had to bring a certain amount of gold. If they did not bring enough gold, they cut off their hands. Which makes no sense. How can they go and get you more gold if you cut their hands off? And their noses and their eyes, it's really horrible. So I've got a bunch of links in this slideshow. If you are curious and interested, if I piqued your interest, I encourage you to check them all out. Now go to this slide, which is the 7th page. And I want you to go on to that link and explore the link. And it's pretty cool. Now, it's not a specific time zone only. I mean, it's not a specific time period. It's over centuries. Okay, so there's lots of overlap, and they weren't necessarily living next to each other at the same time. But isn't that cool? And if we look down at the islands, this is where he stepped foot. It was on Cuba. Here's Cuba. That's where the Taino Indians were, as well as over here on, this one is Hispaniola, where the Dominican Republic and Haiti are, and then Puerto Rico is over here, and they still call themselves by this name. Borican, they call themselves Boricua, proudly, and the island of Borinquen, named after the Taínos. The few Taínos who survived hid in the caverns, the caves of the mountains, the hills of Puerto Rico. And they had to get way far into the caverns. If they did not, the dogs would find them and tear them apart and eat them. But there were a few who survived. Okay, but back to exploring the map, which I want you to enjoy doing. What do you notice? Anything? If you're looking at where we are now, do you recognize any names of places? But you don't have, go ahead. Erie. You don't have to just stay in our part of the world. You can look all over the map.
How about Europe? I've been to
Where?
Hopewell.
Hopewell? What did you see there? Anything related?
I was there for a
Oh, interesting. Anybody see anything they'd like to share?
There aren't any tribes in Antarctica.
Right. And where else? Oh, look at that.
All part of Iceland.
It doubles. Yeah, look at Asia and
Where are
Africa.
the Asia tribes? Where are my Asian tribes at?
Now you know why. Well, I don't know why, but I'm guessing there's a lack of communication. Maybe there's issues with languages, and maybe they're not sharing history with whoever collected this information. But surely there are many tribes over there. We just don't know their names. So check out Australia though, look at it.
On the east coast of the U.S., there's a section of Chesapeake, which I don't know too much about, but I recognize the name.
Cool, yep, Chesapeake.
It's right north of Roanoke.
Cool, yep, Roanoke, we were mentioning Roanoke earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So I knew there were many indigenous peoples in Australia. I had no idea it was so
What do you want to try?
filled, yes.
My sister actually just got back from Mexico like
Dang.
not long ago with her family.
Cool.
I might actually be going there within like next year.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Can I go in your suitcase? Please.
You're supposed to go with my sister.
Mexico really that good?
Yeah, parts of it are safe. Parts of it are not safe.
My parents went to Mexico for their anniversary, and
No kidding.
they went out of the resort. They went to Ishkai, and they went into like a Walmart, and they just see a bunch of these guys with guns come in and stuff, like all over their holsters and everything.
Oh, all decked out.
And then one guy's holding money. It's just how they get money to the store.
Oh, thank God. So it was like the bank or
Yeah.
something. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like our armored trucks.
Just gonna have everything in Texas.
Gringo, were you going to share?
So true. I was gonna say, I remember that Australia is like one of the biggest ones because so many were already there before like English colonization.
Yeah, and had time to thrive and populate. Good point. Pinguino picante.
Okay, actually, I forgot. I was in Mexico before. And
Cool.
I think it was in third grade or something, but
Wow.
I went, and I don't know where we went, but it was like a all-inclusive vacation.
Oh,
And
like touring.
yeah.
They take you
and-
around.
Yeah.
That's
and,
good.
Like, we would come out of our hotel and there'd be like these little animals. I don't know what they were, but like, they were everywhere.
No, like little rodents or some sort.
Yeah, they were everywhere.
Like guinea pigs or something. Yes, Pecoso. Yes, sir?
I used to go, like my dad used to always go, like, because my like brothers and sisters are like 30 now, so they're a lot older
Oh,
than I
wow.
am. And they used to travel to like islands and go to Mexico and all that all the time. I
Oh, my
think I
God.
went like once or twice when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's so cool.
But like, they used to go everywhere, like
Wow.
all different countries.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. So, Kalasa, you can keep exploring. I want to read you this poem. Well, actually, no. I'm going to show you a couple more videos. So I'm going to share the playlist. I don't have it posted yet for you. But I've got several here that are quite interesting. This guy giving a TED Talk is an artist, an indigenous artist. Because I was curious, you know, we looked at the original documents of first-hand accounts from centuries ago, but what are they saying now? What are their voices saying now? And are we listening to indigenous perspectives? So this one is brief. It's a little bit controversial at the end. What do they like to be called?
Forgotten. Indian.
This was supposed to play during the Super Bowl, but they wouldn't show it.
And Sioux. Survivor. Spiritualist. Patriot. Sitting Bull. Hiawatha. And Jim Thorpe. Mother. Father. Son. Daughter. Chief. Apache. Pueblo. Choctaw. Chippewa. And Crow.
Chippewa.
Underserved. Struggling. Resilient.
pretty controversial these days, right?
Southern local Indian.
Whoops, sorry.
Southern local.
Are they? No, oh, Southern local. I was thinking of South Maine. I get always confused. Yeah. So a lot of people say, well, it's not an insult. We're not trying to insult them with the names of these teams. But my question is, did anybody ever ask them first? Would it be okay? Do you mind, if we use your representation or your name or this name that represents you? So like I was saying, we need to be listening to their voices and what they have to say.
That looks like this.
So this guy's pretty entertaining.
What a lot that looks like this.
A lawn.
What a lot that looks like this.
Lawn's a lawn that looks like
What a
this.
lot that looks like this.
This guy's
What a
an,
lot that looks like this.
he is an indigenous artist.